Hey, what up? How you doing? Welcome back. All right, today we'll just pick up exactly where we left off from yesterday, right? I'll go ahead I told you about the landing page yesterday, right? When you log in into AutoCAD, when you log in into Adobe Illustrator, you get to the first page. This is called the landing page. I told you the landing page is divided into two sections. First section is where you create new, right? And the second section that I didn't mention yesterday was what? The place you open from. You can create a new document that opens a dialog box for you where you start setting up doing the settings. And the second option that we have there is to open. You can open a recent document. These are recent documents currently listed below here. These are documents that I've worked on earlier, right? If I want to reopen them, all I need to do is what? Click on a recent file, and whenever it is not listed here, all I need to do is what? Click on open and locate that document on my file where I saved it. And I'll go to my normal document and my Illustrator folder. I know that we had a class yesterday for what? Intro to what? AI face. And I'll go to open. Immediately I open that, it will take us back to where we left off from yesterday. Is this where we left off from?
Yes, sir.
Let me go to Shift F. When I click on Shift F on my keyboard, it brings out a preview of the final result of my design. How is it going to come out on the size that I've chosen? That is what's going to come. That is the final preview. It's like a presentation view, right? Is this making sense so far? This is where we left off. If I click on Escape now, to show you that's the shortcut. I told you we'll be talking about shortcut, and you should get conversant with the shortcuts for this tool. So the Shift F that I use now, where you can find out from is from this section. From this section, when I click on this Windows icon, can you see presentation mode? On presentation mode, there's a shortcut listed. They're called what? Shift F. If I go to Shift F, it gives me a presentation view, regardless of whatever I have on my pasteboard. Can you see I have all these images and the likes around the background? But since they are not on my artboard, I'm good to go. But whenever one of the objects on the pasteboard is showing just at the tip of my object here, at the tip of my design here, and I go ahead to click on Shift F, it will come out of my design. Do I want this? No. And I remove it. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's say we are not done with this design. We are trying to invite people to do something here, right? There are different things that we can do. But this is just to give you a glimpse of what we can do, right? With working with what? Images and text, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll go back because of our class. We have another section today. So today's section is talking about design tools, right?
Yes, sir.
I've mentioned about the direct selection tool. The direct selection tool is the tool that helps you to select on an element on the drawing window, and you can move it around. And I told you there are different points. This white dot that we have there are known as what? Gone. Didn't go to the video, didn't study, nothing. So this white handles around the element is this design element, which is called the image, is known as the handles. And we have two types of handle. We have the scale handle, and then we have the scale handle, and then we have the rotate handle. These two handles are used for, if I select the white handles that are here, how many types of handles do we have?
Scale handle and corner handle.
Scale handle and what?
Corner handle.
That is not it. So as you can see, we have two types of handle, which is the corner handle, right?
Yes, sir.
And then the scale handle. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the corner handle is, now this image that I'm trying to work on, I'll leave the corner handle for now. This is the scale handle. These are the white dot that we have. Can you see the square that you have? Right? This square box that you have around the object. If I decide to scale any of my object, all I need to do is move my mouse around the edge and then start dragging. Can you see I've distorted this image now? If I don't want to distort this image, I'll click on Ctrl Z and then I'll try again. While trying to drag it, I'll now hold on my Shift key so that I can scale from both sides. If I decide to bring this up larger, Can you see it's larger and then we scale bigger, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to hold on shift key in order to scale from both ends. If you don't hold on shift key and you drag just one handle, you will distort the what? Image. And design is not done this way. Are you with me? You work with perfectly scaled images. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So that is how it works. So that's about scale. And I told you, apart from that, we have another type of handle, which is called the corner handle, right?
Yes, sir.
When I go to my direct selection, when I still on for my image, it's not giving me that access. But let me go to my object here. Can you see that? We have the corner handle, which is the square dots that we have around here. And then the what?
Corner.
We have the corner handle and what's the second one?
Scale.
The scale handle is the square box, sir. The square box is known as the what? The scale handle. The corner handle is the small dot that you have inside. Why do we call it corner handle? Because whenever you select that dot that is inside, it's circular. Notice that this inner one is what? Circular, the outer one is what? Square. If I go into the one that is the inner one, I will drag it, it will give us a what? A rounded corner. That is what it is used for. Are you with me? That's why we call it corner what? Handle. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
So today's topic is something else. I will go into a file from my very beautiful teacher. I'll go into a document here. I'll close this up. In fact, let me go straight to the folder directly. I think I've closed the folder, but I can quickly look for that again. I'll go to what? Quick. Where is it? Go to this PC. This guy. Type what? Illustrator. And then I'll find the file right here. So this is a file from one of my instructor. I'll go to what? Shape. Let's go to the first one called the what? This is what we are working on today actually. The pen tool. I told you we're working on the pen tool, right? I'll open the pen tool PDF file. I'm going to be sharing this PDF file with you. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the pen tool. What is the pen tool? I thought we'll be talking about the toolbox here. So after the selection tool, we have the direct selection tool. Have I explained the difference between the two? Yes, I did. So when you have a shape, for example, we have a rectangle shape here. I'll fill it with black. I'll remove the outline color. So I'm not explaining filling with black and outline color again because I believe you should know what I've done. So I have a shape here currently. So the direct selection tool will help me to move this object around. Another thing that my direct object selection tool will help me to do is to what? Rotate. Whenever I move outside a little bit from the square icon, from the square handle, I can what? Rotate. Whenever I'm seeing that angled icon there, I can do what? I can rotate my object, right? Apart from that, I have this circular dot inside, which is known as what? The corner handle. I can also what? Make a radius. Are you with me?
Yes,
Apart from that, I think that's all my direct selection can do for me. Whenever I go to my selection tool can do for me. Whenever I go to the next one, which is direct selection tool, I told you every other thing disappears except the node that we now have. We have nodes, right? With this node, I was able to make some designs yesterday. If you remember this small funny design, I selected each node and I was drawing something like this out. People who have the video will know that we did something like this yesterday. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we did something like this yesterday. So that is the node. We are working with the node there, and there is a lot of discussion around how to use the node. But Pen 2 will help us to dive more into how nodes works and the best way to use it. So apart from the node icon, you can see that the next one after the direct selection and the selection tool is what? The pen tool. Now I will activate my pen tool. What does the pen tool do? The pen tool helps you to draw not just straight lines, because you can draw straight line. And for example, I'm trying to design something. I need a straight line here. I'll just click on one. I want a straight line. To have a straight line here, I need to hold Shift key. Can you see where my mouse is at the moment? It's currently there. It's currently slanted, right? But when I hold on Shift key on my keyboard, can you see it's giving me a perfectly straight line to that direction? And I can click, and you see that a line has been created. Are you with me? If I go ahead to add, can you see? I'll go ahead to add an outline to that line that is there, and I can see that we have a black color there. right?
Yes.
I can add a thickness to it if I want to go to my word stroke. Let me make it like 5, and you can see that we have created a straight line. That is not just what pen tool is used for. Now, to trace this icon out, you were asking me the other time that, sir, I'm designing something, I want to create a logo. What icon helps me to do that? This pen tool is one of the tools that you use to create that kind of design. Are you with me?
Yes.
So now I want to trace this object out. There are two things I can do. I can decide to what? First, select. There are two things I can do rather. I can decide to, now using the reference of the object that I have in the background here, I can just trace with my object, right?
Yes.
So one thing, to start my design, I can start from the middle. Can you see? I make sure that I'm at the center of this image here, and I make sure that my pen tool is at the center. I'm starting the line from the center point. Or, better still, Ctrl Z, you try to what? Align it to the end of this shape. But I always like to stick with the middle, right? I'll go ahead to the middle here, and I'll go ahead to create my first dot. It's not compulsory, it's perfectly at the straight line, at the middle or at the center, but you can always try. Are you with me? I'm clicking again to drop another anchor point. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead to that start point. I'll click again with my Alt key. I'll go ahead again, create this next Bezier curve that we have here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I'll go back to this point, end my my curve, and then go ahead again, create my object, my Bezier curve here. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Slowly but surely we are getting there, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm making a bigger curve this time because I can see that this one is a straight curve, no tricks to it, right?
Yes, sir.
I go ahead again, close it at my end, come back to this corner here. I can go ahead to create my angled corner. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
So I go ahead again and I close it at this end. Do we have something similar to what we have here? You can see that we still have some little corrections to go on because the shape is not perfect, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you how to make that correction. But you can see that we have started, we are making sense.
Yes.
I'll go ahead again to create the circle inside. I can just make things easier for myself. I'll just go ahead to my ellipse tool and create a circle from the center. Are you with me? And I'll just align it to that one that is inside because I know that is the perfect circle that is there. Right?
Yes, sir.
So I can go ahead to select these two shapes, go ahead to reduce the thickness to around 4. Now I have created this shape, but you can see that there are some edges that are too sharp. It's supposed to be blended. How do I correct that? I go to my direct selection tool. When I go to my direct selection tool, you can see the dots at the ends. This end at the sharp here, there is a dot here. There is a circular handle there. I'll drag that circular handle to blend my curve. Are you with me? That's blended the remaining curve as well. Are you with me? Or I can Ctrl Z, just select just this one, and then blend this curve out. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
If I want to blend this guy as well, I select this one, blend this curve out. Are you with me? I want this end as well. I go ahead, select the essence, I blend this curve out. Who is with me?
Yes, sir.
So I select this guy again, I want this curve, I blend this curve out. That way we are able to do this shape. Is this similar now? Do we still have the sharp ends around?
Yes, sir.
Do we still have the sharp ends around?
No.
Because it has been blended using that direct selection tool. Is this possible, or I'm just joking with you?
Yes, sir.
Is this working?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this working?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now, this is the interesting part. Are we good to go?
Yes,
Let me
sir.
tell you the trick that is happening in the background of creating this. The pen tool works in a very simple way, right? You will struggle with it when you are getting started with it. But as you go on and on, you become perfect. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing I want to do is, with my pen tool, after activating my, just like any other tool, when I select my pen tool and I bring my mouse to the workspace, can you see the current state? Can you see that? When I click once, can you see it is locked to that end and my line is to proceed? Normally by default, without any command, this my pen tool want to create just a straight line for me. I can keep clicking, I can keep clicking, I can keep clicking. It wants to create a straight line for me. But whenever I know that I want to create a what? A curved line or an angled line, you understand? What do? I click and I hold. Instead of clicking like I was doing the other time, I'll click and hold and drag. That is when I get the curve. Are you with me? But now, when I'm done creating the curve, can you see that now it's not creating a straight line for me? It is not giving me a curve. To stop this from happening, I'll click on my Alt key and I'll go to that end point where this line started from earlier. This end point where I ended the line from, and I'll click once. Bam. Are you with me? And now is it giving me a curve again?
No.
It's giving me a straight line. That means I can continue with our straight line again. If I need a curve, what do? I bend it. I click and I drag. That is the logic with pen tool. Now, after creating a curve, it's asking me to continue to create with my curve line. I can continue if I actually want to. But if I don't want to again, I continue with my what? Line. Are you with me? If I want a curve, what do? I click. Normally, if I want to create a line, I'll just click and I'll move on. If I need the line, I'll just click and I'll move on. If I need the line, I'll just click and I'll move on. Whenever I need a what? Arc or a line that needs to an angled line, I'll click and then drag. That's what gives me that what? Arc. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'll give you a few minutes to practice with that. Hello. So to round up this section about the pen tool, there's no trick, or there's really no trick behind using pen tool. Pen tool is not a mystery tool, right? All you need to do is to understand how it is being used, and then just follow the procedure, right?
Yes.
I'll zoom in closely to this. When I want to zoom in and out, there are different ways to zoom. If I want to stress my left, if I want to stress myself, I'll go and find my zoom tool here. Can you see zoom to Z? I'll click on zoom tool and you see that plus icon. That means I can zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Then I can hold on my Alt key and then it will turn to minus, and I can zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. But I don't want to stress my life with this. This is stress, right? Especially when I'm trying to design. I can't be looking for any zoom tool. There's another method of zooming that I'll go into my section here and I'll type, I want 100% view, and it will zoom in. I can now scroll down. If I want 10% view or 12% view, I'll zoom out. Can you see that? If I want 50% view, I'll go and select 50. But what is that stress? This is also what's stressing out my life. If I want to create a design that I've already activated my pen tool, do I need to go and be clicking on zoom tool again to change my tool? No. All I need to do is just to hold on my Alt key on my keyboard and then zoom in. Use my scroll wheel to zoom in. When I zoom out, I use my scroll wheel again to zoom outside. This is basically how you zoom, especially when you are creating designs. Are you with me? I'll be zooming in using my Alt key and my scroll wheel. When I scroll forward, I'm zooming in. When I scroll outward, I'm zooming out. That is how it works. Are you with me? Now, to use your pen tool, there's no trick about it. I told you if I want to create just a straight line, all I need to do is what? Click first. I click once. Move my mouse out. If I want to create any line, I can just click here and I'm done. And when I'm done, it is still showing the connection. If I want to stop it, I just click on what? Escape key. And it terminates the line command. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not creating just any outline. I'm creating a line that it's perfectly straight. Now, to create a perfectly straight line, I need to hold on what? Shift key. And it gives me that straight horizontal line. Holding on my shift key, I'll keep holding until I click to show the end point of the line. After clicking to show the end point of the line, can you see it's still showing connection? I can now hold on what? Escape key. And it will go off. Is this line straight or is it straight or is not? It is straight. If I want to create a perfectly vertical line as well, I click once, I come down, I hold on shift key and I click again, and the perfectly straight line is made for me. Right. Now, this is where it gets tricky. when you want to make not a straight line this time, a curved line, right? A Bezier curve. How do you do that? When you click once, you have already specified your start point. Now you need to specify the next point. Specifying the next point of an arc, all you need to do is what? Click. You click again, but you not click and leave like you used to do. You click and hold and drag out. Then you are creating something related to an arc. It want to keep creating that arc for you. Can you say it's giving me an arc again? If I don't want this to, I don't want Illustrator to decide the next arc for me, I'll hold on my Alt key, go to the end point of that arc that I've created. I'll click once, and you'll see that there is a line here. Can you see this line that is here? There is a second line here before, but immediately I click, it went off. I'll Ctrl Z again. See this line that is here? These two lines that are here, one here and the other one here. This second line here is the one that is giving me this curve that I have here. Are you with me? This other line that is the one giving us this curve that we have on this other end here. If I click again, if I want the curve, I'll just click, and then you can see that I've created a curve, right? I can close it at this end. How do I know that it is this line that is giving me this arc? Let me go to my direct selection tool and drag this angle. Can you see that it is that angle that is adjusting that end? Are you with me? So please and please, when you click on your pen tool, you click first to specify your start point, and then the next point, if you know that it is a curve you are trying to create, you click and what? Drag to create the curve. If you know that you want to create another arc again, you don't want this pen tool to decide the next arc, you go back to your start end point, you click once, and then you have a straight line. Now you can create a custom arc that you want yourself. Are you with me? If I'm done again, I go back to that end point, I click again, I continue again to create my the next arc. Are you with me?
Yes,
whenever I'm done, all I need to do is click on escape key, and the command is off. Are we good to go?
Yes,
now there will always be treatment to make on your design. For example, you can see that these other angles are blended well, but this angle here is not blended. How do I correct it? I select the line command, I go to my direct selection tool. When I click on direct selection tool, it shows me this round the corner handle so that I can drag. When I drag, can you see it's now a smooth curve there? There are different ways to add curve to this line. I'm just giving you one now, which is using that corner radius. There are different ways to do it. I can Ctrl Z this. If I want to scatter your head, I'll go ahead to where is the smoothing tool? I'll go ahead to my pen tool. Let me see if I can find the smoothing tool around here. If I can't find it, I'll go and locate it from here. Where is the smoothing tool? This is the smooth tool, and I'll drag it to my toolbox. I'll just add it somewhere here. I'll go outside, go back to my design, and then I can use this smoothing tool. I can zoom in very well so that I can see the difference, and I'll start smoothing this end out. If I want to get a curve, I'll start smoothing it out, and then slowly but surely I'm going to be getting the curve that I want. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes,
Is this still the sharp corner that we had before?
yes,
No, it's changing. All right.
yes,
But there are different ways to make the adjustment, right? Like I've said, if I want to smoothen any tool, I keep smooth the curves. I can correct the curves and smoothing out the edges. Are you with me?
yes.
So you can see that it's blending. It's blending one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
You can correct it more. Can you see that it's adjusting? Is it now smoother now?
Yes,
There are different tools like that can help you to do that, right? But you need to learn one tool first before you go to the next, right? And the tool that I'm explaining to you is using the pen tool and then using your direct selection tool that shows you the angles. For example, if I want to make adjustment to this other one here, I select it. I go to my direct selection tool. If I want to make correction to this angle, I select the angle. I round it up. I select this angle, and then I want to round it up. Very good to go.
yes,
So please, this is the way we use our pen tool. So far so good. We use the selection tool, the direct selection tool, and now the pen tool. Under the pen tool, there's another tool called the anchor point tool. We'll start from here in the next class. Any questions?
yes, but I just need to
You need to practice and then revisit this video, please. Just revisit this video and